Plutarch, as you are drinking away your worries, a pain strikes you. That alleyway is long gone, Plutarch. You find yourself standing in the middle of absolute chaos. You sense that you are not alone. There are 4 other creatures that stand with you. And you now stand in what appears to be, Ella, a laboratory of sorts. My name is Dr. Tompion, Thomas Tompion. I'm the project lead here on this experiment. You stand inside the Kistonian Institute of Strange Studies. After he leads you in here and he sits you at the table, and he says, I've put out some maps on the table if you'd like to take a look. Kiston is the birthplace of dragon. 2,000 years ago, Kiston sort of opened up and let dragons into the world. I've run many operations to figure out if Kiston can be closed. Well, in Operation Deadbolt, we got some warforged into the center of the city. For you see, in those caverns, deep in those mountains, there was a massive gate wheel of sorts. Not unlike the one you would use to open a portcullis, perhaps.
The dragons, do they know what you're up to?
Unfortunately, they might now. After our experiment, the dragons felt it as well. The wheel has 5 spokes. We believe that perhaps it is tied in some way to you 5. Yeah, the last thing that you remember, you could see mountains of water just swirling up and dragging the ship aside, as if you had been caught in some sort of maelstrom or whirlpool. As you look down the coast a little bit further, you make out a shape laying prone in the sand.
Hello there, I say.
So one of the serpent folk is going to let go of Alexi, and he's going to turn to face you, Edgar.
Yeah, I just got here. I'm gonna try to beat the hell out of this guy with a rock.
Probably not gonna go back in the water. I respect it, but don't want to be in it.
That's Murin up here on the beach somewhere.
We should run. We should keep running.
Yeah, I agree.
Get back to the trees.
If your intention is to lock the island, doesn't that mean we get locked in? There it is.
If you so choose to accept this mission, is that it's a matter of time. We can parachute you down into the sky vents, straight into the city.
So we're gonna just dropping in?
Up to the tarmac, and lo and behold, there is a large 2-winged plane. Bosworth, the Fated 5, Bosworth.
Fated 5. I like it.
Can I just kind of go around camp and kind of make it look like no one was there?
I want to make a rune shape on the people that I'm protecting. I tap the rune and I say, Ven, which is giant for friend.
Oh.
What did he say?
Ven.
He said friend.
I put my hand on my rune.
Friend.
Yeah.
I put my hand on my
then.
heart and my rune.
So with our Ven ship finally ignited here, you guys settle in. You can hear sort of a calm. You hear those even larger than life roar.
And I'm gonna say, I'm unarmed in every single language. Keep my hands up.
One of them, again, grabs your wrist. So he pulls you up and out of the burrow. You see that they have just tied off Guy. You can see that Muir is down the beach and they've tied him off as well.
I'm gonna yell out, it's a nice night to be going north.
I think we might be able to track him pretty easily.
It looks like we might have picked up a bit more than we could chew. There is a dragon following the plane. We are descending quickly.
Look,
Alright.
unless any of you have an encyclopedia on what the hell to do here, we gotta jump.
And after you guys hit the ground, nice and soft,
I vomit.
as the face of a massive red dragon peers up and into your cavern. They didn't tell you about me, did they? The Draco orcs dropped you all here on the overhang, on the Pride Rock formation that juts out. As you are dragged over to the edge of the cliff, you are dropped there to sit with 2 other humanoids. The old man looks at you, Ghost, and he says, we're gonna have to kidnap a dragon. But They plucked me right out of the nest, and they kidnapped me. So if you're back on the island, are you guys here to turn on another wheel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is exactly why we're here.
You can see down in the jungle below you and off in the distance a group of humanoids, roughly about your size. My name is Fork.
Fork. That's...
Tuning Fork.
Oh, that's original.
Oh, the wheel. Right. That's what it was called. I'm sorry.
Oh yes, it is important that you do not go near the wheel. If you find yourself falling down a hole in the Crystal City and tumbling towards the bottom of the darkest pits, and you come across a wheel, do not, for any reason, turn the wheel.
We were sent to this island to turn a wheel that we don't even know what it does.
You can't.
You've told us.
Don't turn it, please.
Right now, I'm trying to figure out what the right course of action is because everybody's telling me something different and I'm sick of it.
You make sure you stay away. You don't want to go with them, Pluto. Here, get on my back.
And I look at the woman that's with him.
Her name is Promisa. 3 of these orc creatures come hustling out. And he
Can I
sees
get a
you,
stab
Alexei. Yeah, you want to attack him?
Yeah.
All right, great.
Like, jab his legs.
Sure.
Oh,
sure,
no.
Sure. Let's go ahead and roll
I'm
for
sorry.
initiative.
I got scared.
They're gonna drop you, Mir. I'm gonna be honest. They're gonna just throw you right off the edge. It is going to drop Alexei off the side of the cliff. All right, Ghost. I need you to make a athletics check.
I'm not athletic. I just look pretty.
So unfortunately, they are going to toss you right over the ledge.
I am willing to do anything for you, divine goddess of darkness.
But what we've learned in our months here is that the gods cannot see us on this island. The darkness overcomes you. You run, Promisa. You won't be able to rescue this red dragon yourself, but I have a feeling their bodies will still be intact. And out of all of the reanimators I know, you have always been the strongest.
I would at least try to find Ghost and Alexei's bodies first.
Alexei, on the other hand,
We should give them a proper burial.
you can spot up in the brush a creature. You notice that it is Promisa.
What's
Go
your
ahead.
magic then?
He's the god of necromancy.
Oh.
Next thing you knew, everything just sort of smelt like dirt and worms and grime.
Anybody
From your-
care to guess, like, what happens to us? And what you pull us from when you do this? A son that you've now taken twice from me.
Okay, look, can't believe I'm negotiating with a dead person. I understand. What is your name?
Alexius.
Alexius. Okay, Alexius. There is an afterlife. You saw it, okay? And you've got a son there. But if you're willing to lend us one tiny, tiny, tiny second of mortal life so that you can enjoy an eternity of heaven, you might just help them get off this island and see whatever sons they have.
I will not abandon them. When this is done, what happens to Ghost and me?
Then,
I'm asking you put me back. I turn my back on her and I turn to them. Please. Put me back in the ground when this is all done. I want to be with my son again.
this red dragon wormling that these orcs have kidnapped or captured somehow. The orcs are planning to deliver this red dragon to a great creature named Jatil Yvelg. The red dragons are the kings of the island. So we are hoping to bring the red dragon back to its family. We're hoping that in doing this favor for these kings of the island, we can get a favor done back, and the Red Dragons will help us learn how to get off.
And I'm gonna try and coax the dragon out of his hands and then drop my rocks into his lap. That's a 26. I'd like that dragon, please. Yeah, let's give this dude a name. We're gonna call him Poseidon. It means hope.
I have a lot of nightmares. I'm afraid of getting thrown in the big hole.
Poseidon.
Yeah, it's a stupid dragon thing.
I would say to him, I know what it's like to be betrayed by your own kin. But if your unhappiness, if your life is constantly being threatened here, you can find another thing to live for. It's not necessary. It won't necessarily be the end.
As you guys head out into the mountains and down towards her camp. So a few of you are now standing in the enclosure, and you guys can get a good look around you. There are portal-like structures. The back of the camp, which is flanked on either side by a large runic-looking stone with a strange sigil on the center. Promisa will come up to you guys as you are studying real close all of the etchings here. This was here before we even arrived on the island. We never got many answers out of it. Murin,
Yeah.
as you're trying to see what might be salvageable, you find an old journal. It's bound leather.
Do you know what this might be?
Yeah, it appears to be some naval navigation chart.
A creature comes out of the shadows. He's gonna look down at you guys. He's one of the spawns. One of those creatures that they're making in the caves.
Or Godslayer isn't really the right term for these things. They come in all sorts of little sizes and big sizes, but generally speaking, in common, in our notes here, we refer to these guys as Tarrasques. That's just sort of the term that's become accepted for these things, because they are powerful, but I think, don't take this serious, these guys aren't like the Tarrasque here to end the world.
Might I suggest my family may have history on my grandfather that could be useful to you?
We're gonna definitely make contact with the LaCroix then, see.
I don't trust Promisa yet. I really don't. So I wanted to keep it between the five of us.
I just want to put this out there. When I spoke to her, she's got a lot on her shoulders. I think she's a good person.
Because we are here to help you, and you are here to help us. Agreed? And I hand it over to her.
But if we have this research, and this place hasn't fallen apart, then we don't need to go meet we don't need to put our lives in danger talking to the dragons. We can figure it all out here and now. We just need that sidereal. And slowly you guys start to make some progress on Fermi's notes here. Guy, as your sidereal starting to come together, something starts to become a little off. It's occurring to you that the stars are not in the right place. And she starts to translate these discovery sigils for you. And she says, what this line means is they are looking in the wrong place. Does that make sense? Wrong. So place, they are looking in the wrong place.
How do we make sure they're looking in the right place? We have to make sure that they're looking in the right place. I'll stand up, and I will shout, I am a scholar!
Yes, Ghost, that's great, but we're not on the material plane anymore, so I'm not sure that's going to help as much.
I have helpful information! We're going to drive the island. We are going to make a wheel that drives the island back into alignment so that everything looks right and we can get you guys out of here. So, I've never built a wheel before, but I'm gonna assume we need wood and a guy.
Yeah, first I'm gonna need a forge.
We do have, as you can see from above, a very functional capstan indeed. Well built, but currently barren of any markings or magic. What we'll need to do is imbue the wheel with the power to push things across the universe.
On your guy.
Yeah.
Write out every rune. And I'm gonna start casting Banish on the leaf.
I'll say it's probably 12 runes.
12.
Let's keep those in the box for tonight, and then we can give it all a try tomorrow.
That night, Alexei, there is an encounter. The Black Dragon arises. He brought us to this ruined campsite of some sort. Most interestingly, as you guys are sorting through this weird hodgepodge of items, there are these dried leaves. They are maybe some remnants of markings, like maybe this was an old world piece of parchment or something. This is the edge of a large body of water, big bright blue water shining under the night sky. And the head of a creature lurches out of the water and takes a quick strike out at Poseidon.
And I don't even know if this is gonna work, but whatever. So I have 2 Warforged crystals. Throw it towards a dragon, and if I can maybe like Deadeye shoot it with my pistol.
And the next thing you know, there is a flash of light, the sizzle of purple waves of magic that spread out as the crystal has shattered, and maybe even the faint sound of a scream.
I say, ever try a breath mint? I'm really trying to make a nice permanent scar.
So I will do a critical bite then. So, Rin, you'll get the scar in,
Yeah.
but you won't get to last much longer than that. And when you return to the spot hop, there is no body to be found. Fading away into the night sky, the sounds of that dragon, as it must have carried off the spoils of battle. But what do we do about the wheel?
How long until it's up and running?
We were close.
I'm gonna take the charcoal we have and another banana leaf, and I'm gonna copy the runes down and stick them in my pocket. I want to leave the other set in the chest just in case.
We will gather the wheel, and we will begin our march up and towards the center of the island, following the path of the Black Dragon. Like Poseidon said, when we get right out of the water and onto this coast, on the cliffs, a creature sits.
You have done well, Poseidon.
And as you all look back to our lovely red friend, he simply bows his head down.
The chosen blood now lies in the hands of Yatil Yvilg. I only need the blood from one of your bodies. In return, I will let the other 4 fly home safe.
So it's taken us 3 days of tracking him down, of chasing him, and we're going all the way up the mountains. I mean, as you can see, we are at the peak. We are at the tippy top of one of Kiston's largest mountains today.
Can I be sneaking around looking for bony bones?
And Poseidon will lead the way and just bring you pile to pile. You manage to collect all of the Alexei bones that you can. If you can hear coming from the skies above.
It is not yours! This is mine!
We should really leave now.
Then I will devour you, and I will toss you to the world breakers below.
You know, he looks pretty full of himself at this moment.
I'm trying to get back to my girl Promisa so I can get my other girl up and running.
You're flat to the ground and you're right next to this massive hole. Poseidon, clutched on top of your back or around your shoulder, looks over and down the hole for a split second when you get so close. And he begins to really, really freak out. And as soon as the sounds happen, Yatil's head will just, bird-like, just jolt over and stare. And let's go ahead and roll for initiative.
Fine, for the first time this campaign, I'm going to pull out my rifle, and I'm going to lean over the edge I'm gonna take a couple shots with my gun.
And echoes from the mountain across the river into the jungles in the distance. And when you look down, you can see that a portion of Yatil's skull has indeed been blown off, exposing some. So as you guys all climb your way up and catch your breath and meet at the edge of the ledge here, we can now finally enter the mountain. So Alexi, welcome back from the afterlife. Your job is not yet done here. He'll come down and he'll grab the wheel, and then he is going to fly up a little bit more.
It's not good.
Hop, finally in his element, finally with a bow, is tearing this dragon apart. And as he turns to fly away, to flee, he drops the wheel. A small sound that echoes. Crack.
I have just reached out to my grandfather on the other plane. We can ask him questions, but he can only give us one-word answers. Is there another way without turning the wheel that we can make things right in the world?
There is a solemn yes, a nod.
Could he telepathically form a bond, a magical bond, and show him how to do it?
There is, I know, always. There is another rumbling as a creature does emerge from the massive hole nearby.
What color is it?
Red.
We're here to help. I believe we might have your child.
If this story is true, then you are in the good graces of dragonkind.
Nuri.
Nuri, would you be willing to escort us through the caves? I'm asking if she'd be willing to escort us through the caves.
Yes. If you will hop on my back, I will tell you everything on the way.
Okay.
And she explains. She begins. Along the bottom of the city, there are the spawn holes, which is where Tiamat's experiments reside. They are creatures that, if released from the spawn holes, could almost certainly destroy all the dragons on the island. And it is the biggest fear of all dragons that one day these spawns could get out of the holes and could wreak havoc on the city. That gave us our first glimpse at the actual events that surrounded our ancestors.
This was really helpful. We now know that there is a wheel, and that those 5 people, our ancestors, put it there. We are fated to be here.
Jatil only needed one of us. You know, my Gaul thinks that only one of us is needed.
And it is our friend Poseidon who is in fact above us.
My head almost got bit off because of that dragon.
Put a hand on Pluto's shoulder.
I thought Yatil was going to take
What's
you guys
their
all the way through the city.
Oh, is that what you thought? I show him the teeth scar I still have around my neck. He tried to eat my head off.
It was my best plan for getting you guys to the city center alive. This wasn't supposed to go wrong like this. I was supposed to be the hero and take you back when he got you all the way to the end.
But it's not too late for you to be the hero.
Poseidon will jump down at that. And you guys can all get on his back, just like old times.
I'm gonna go for it, you guys, and I'm gonna nature image up a world breaker coming out of the hole.
You know, Yatil might be the great tormentor, but he has never obtained the title of Godslayer. So I am going to go ahead and throw one of these gods in. Get away from there! And immediately, Poseidon flies in and collides with the vision. She just
It
simply passes right through.
Yeah.
Sees you guys running towards him, and he says, "Oh, I thought this one was real. Here, get on my back." You guys are gonna make it safely to the rest of the city center here. For a second, I thought you guys were somehow getting all the world breakers out of their holes. I thought maybe you weren't going to turn the wheel and you were just going to release the world breakers and kill all the dragons. It's something I've been a little bit afraid of this whole time.
I'm not saying it's the right idea, but I am saying that I have seen this at work before. I kind of want to get off the island. I kind of don't want to live here for the rest of my life. However short that may be.
Well, I don't know if we want to turn the wheel in the first place, because if we do, we'll be trapped.
Yeah. I really like the idea of lesser of two evils, but if there's a way we can manipulate it so we can have it work in our benefit and have us be able to get off. None of us asked to be here.
A little bit.
We're not here for that. We're not here for the wheel.
I have received contrary evidence, memories, witnesses who have heard you speak of the wheel, to find it, to turn it. You have brought wild magic into the caves while playing with fire. Wild magic and existence crystals do not pair well. I advise you leave the island immediately.
We'll have a hand.
The motherboard is willing to do whatever they need to remove you from this island immediately and take your wild magic elsewhere. We would be able to book passage on a vehicle.
Well,
They're
I
willing
mean,
to do whatever it takes to get us off the island. Whatever it takes.
I'll put it this way. My family never cared for me. So why the hell should I care for them?
It's not a matter of doing what our ancestors wanted. It's a matter of protecting the...
how we proceed from here doesn't have to be what they did, but do we want to see how we can maybe possibly make the world better? Right? Make it at least better.
Look, I know we're anxious to find a way off the island, but there are so many people out there that I care about. I need to see this wheel, and I need to know what the right thing to do is. There are so many questions either way, whether we turn it or not. I feel that maybe we might get answers if we see it.
You can see that there is a hole underneath, allowing a downward spiral through a set of well-carved pre-existing stairs.
We've come too far. Let's go.
You can tell that this is going to be quite a journey to the bottom. And beyond the halfway point, you begin to hear the sounds of a creature. And you guys only continue to get even closer and closer.
And one day you're gonna be as big as your mama there, and you're gonna help protect your family. But just remember us, okay, little dude?
I break off another bone. I give it to him, and I say, yeah, there's not gonna be much more, so you hold on to that.
It's gonna be a collector's item one day.
So, congratulations, ancestors, on making it. We still have so much more to do.